Of the fantasy baseball season, and this season so far it's really flying by, and it's getting late early for some managers who are in obviously record leagues. So right here, if you need some help on the waiver wire to get back in your winning ways this week, here's a few pitchers I would look to add. The first guy is Jake Arrieta of the Chicago Cubs. So Arrieta, he was on the injured list for a couple weeks ago, but he's returned and he's pitched pretty well, in my opinion. Arrieta. So far this season, 47 and a third inning, 5-4 record, 45 hits, 23 earned runs, 8 homers, 16 walks, 38 strikeouts, a 4.37 ERA, and a 1.29 WHIP with 4 quality starts for Arrieta. In the last couple weeks here for Arrieta, 10 innings, 1-1 record, 12 hits, 6 earned runs, a homer, giving up 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.5 WHIP. So those numbers, they're not all that great, but it was just from one ball game where he didn't pitch good versus Washington on May 19th. But Arrieta, surprisingly this season, he's going 5 or 6 innings. He's pitching the baseball pretty well, and he's getting some wins along the way as well with 5 so far this season. And right now, fantasy owners, they've added him in 6% of fantasy leagues so far this week, and he's still available in 62% of leagues. So the last few games here for Arrieta, May 19th versus Washington, 5 innings, got the loss, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, 2 walks, 2 Ks, a 7.20 ERA, and a 1.80 WHIP for Arrieta. May 25th at Pittsburgh, 5 innings, got the win, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 7 Ks, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1.20 WHIP. So Arrieta, he's got the Pirates number this season. And like I mentioned in other videos, that NL Central ain't that great a division. And the Cubs, they're in the mix of things right now. And Arrieta, he's going out there each and every 5th day, and he's at least giving quality starts. He's at least going deeper into games. And he's only giving up a couple runs here and there, is Arrieta. And there'll be some games where he gets hit hard, but I think he's definitely worth an add this week on the wire. The next pitcher is Brad Keller of the Kansas City Royals. So Keller, former top prospect in the Royal organization. And he's been a mixed bag of results throughout his career. And even this season so far, 4-4 record in 45 2/3, 58 hits, 29 earned runs, 6 homers, 21 walks, 40 strikeouts, a 5.72 ERA, and a 1.73 WHIP with 3 quality starts. Keller, his walk to strikeout ratio is half his problem, but the last couple weeks he's got things going and has pitched well. 12 1/3, 1-0 record in the time, 12 hits, 4 earned run, a homer, giving up 5 walks, 11 Ks, a nice 2.92 ERA, and a 1.38 WHIP with a quality start for Keller. So Keller, he's been added in 6% of fantasy leagues in the week. And the last few outings for him, May 14th at Chicago, 5 innings, got the win, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1.60 WHIP. And May 19th versus Milwaukee, 5 1/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, a walk, 4 strikeouts, a 5.06 ERA, and a 1.69 WHIP. And then May 25th at Tampa Bay, a great game from him. 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 7 Ks, a 1.29 ERA, and a 1.14 WHIP with a quality start. So Keller, he's going out there. He's given some fantasy owners innings and some wins in the Royals the last couple outings, and hopefully he keeps things going. But right now, like I mentioned, he's available in 85% of fantasy leagues, and I think he's worth an add this week. The next pitcher is Luis Garcia of the Houston Astros. So Garcia, it's surprising to me that he's not added and owned in more fantasy leagues this week. So right here, Garcia, the ownage just finally jumped up 20% in the last week, but he's still available in a whopping 59% of fantasy leagues is Garcia. And Garcia, he was on my Week 8 risers list for the pitchers, and so far this season, 46 innings, 3-3 record, 31 hits, 15 earned runs, 8 homers, 16 walks, 54 strikeouts, an amazing 2.93 ERA, and a 1.02 WHIP with a quality start. So the only thing for him, the quality starts aren't great with only 1, so he's only about a 5-6 inning pitcher, if that is Garcia. In the last couple weeks, 11 innings, 2-0 record, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, giving up 3 walks, 14 Ks, a 1.64 ERA, 0.73 whip, and a quality start. So I just think this Astro team, they got to let the chains off him and let this kid go deeper into games. I know he's a young ball player. A lot of wear and tear on his arm right now. I get it this season, but this guy's going out there every fifth day and competing and getting his team victories. The last few outings for him, May 15th versus Texas, 5 innings, got the win, 5 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. Then May 20th versus Oakland, 5 innings, got the win, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 3.60 ERA, and a 1 whip. And then his latest outing, May 26th versus a great Dodger team, 6 innings, got the win, 2 hits, a walk, 7 Ks, has no runs given up, an 0.50 whip, and a quality start. So he's going out there, like I mentioned, and he's producing great numbers, and he's producing for the Astros and fantasy owners, and he should be added in more leagues. And his next outing is June 1st versus the Boston Red Sox. The next pitch is James Caprian of the Oakland Athletics. Caprian, he's been pitching real well since he's got an opportunity with this A team to be in the starting rotation, and right now he's going out there and getting the job done. So far in the season, I know it's only 17 2/3, but he's 2-0, 10 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 6 walks, 19 strikeouts, a 1.53 ERA, and an 0.91 whip with a quality start. In the last couple weeks, 12 2/3, 1-0 record, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 walks, 13 Ks, 1.42 ERA, and an 0.71 whip with a quality start. So it's good to see this guy, former top draft pick years ago for this A team, and just injuries have been the problem, but he's gone out there and he's pitched the baseball really well, and he pitches in a division where there's not many great hitting teams either. He's got Seattle, LA in there, you got Houston and Oakland, but there's not much heavyweight hitting teams in that division, and he's going out there and producing right now. May 21st at the Angels, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, a walk, 9 Ks, a 3.18 ERA, and an 0.88 whip. Then May 26th versus Seattle, 7 innings, got the win, 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, no runs, 0.57 whip, and a quality start. And once again, his next outing is tonight here at the Seattle Mariners, May 31st, where he could go out there once again and produce. So right here, like I mentioned, he's in a good division. He's hitting the strike zone, and fantasy owners have definitely taken notice to it as well, being added in 23% of fantasy leagues, but he's still out there in 65% of fantasy leagues. So give him an ad this week. The next pitcher is Yushi Kikuchi of the Seattle Mariners. So he's been on the list a few times this season as Kikuchi, and he's still out there in 49% of fantasy leagues, and he's been a pretty decent pitcher this season, and this is why I keep bringing him up for this waiver wire. So far this season, 56 innings, 2-3 record, 42 hits, 25 earned runs, 10 homers, 19 walks, 56 strikeouts, a 4.02 ERA, a 1.09 whip, and 7 quality starts. So his quality starts have been good. He's pitching deeper into games, and he's getting a strikeout an inning as well. And I know the Seattle Mariners team isn't that good, so his win record's not going to be much of a factor for fantasy baseball, but he's going to help in other ways, like I mentioned in the last couple weeks here for Kikuchi. 12 innings, 1-1, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 homers, 6 walks, 11 Ks, a 3 ERA, 1.08 whip, and 2 quality starts for him. So he's pitching deep into games, like I mentioned. And like I mentioned with Caprian, he's not in that great division where there's so many great power hitting teams in that AL West. So right here, the last 3 outings for Kikuchi, 6 1/3, no decision, 6 hits, 3 earned, a homer, giving up a walk, 11 Ks, 4.26 ERA, and a 1.11 whip, and a quality start. And then May 17th versus Detroit, 6 innings, got the loss, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 walks, 8 Ks, a 4.50 ERA, and a 1.17 whip, and a quality start. Then his latest outing at Oakland, 6 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 1.50 ERA, and 1 whip in a quality start. So Kikuchi, he's going out there, he's producing, and this week I think it's an easy ad to get him. The next pitch I would look to add to Alek Manoah of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Manoah, one of the top prospects in this Blue Jays system. He came up for his debut, and he pitched a gem in that debut with the New York Yankees. 6 innings, got the win, 2-hitter, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, no runs, an 0.67 whip, and the quality start. So Manoah, he's been a hot ad right out of the gate here, and right now he's been added in 48% of fantasy leagues, and he's only available now in 33%. So right now, if somehow he's still on your waiver wire, this is the only time you're going to have a chance and really go out there and get him, because he's one of the top prospects in Major League Baseball. And then he came up at a New York Yankee team that's obviously one of the best hitting teams in all of Major League Baseball, and he pitched a gem. So right now, if he's still out there in your league, this is the only week I'm probably going to be recommending him, like I mentioned. Then his next outing is June 1st versus the Miami Marlins, and this guy should be owned in pretty much 80 to 90% of fantasy leagues. The next pitcher is Vince Velasquez of the Philadelphia Phillies. So throughout the last few seasons, it's been control issues and the home run ball that's really been the problem for him, and they've moved him in and out of the rotation the last couple seasons. But so far this season, Velasquez has been good. 36 and 2/3 of an inning, 2-0 record, 25 hits, 12 earned runs, 7 homers given up, 22 walks, which is still his problem, the control issues, 45 strikeouts, a 2.95 ERA, 1.28 whip, and 2 quality starts in the last couple weeks for Velasquez. He's pitched well with no runs given up in 7 1/3, 0.82 whip, and a quality start. So Velasquez, as long as he could get the control, walk the ballpark, this guy's going to be a good fantasy pitcher. And he's got electric stuff, though, that we know here. Right now, he's back in the starting rotation for this Philadelphia Philly team. And his latest outing since he returned at Miami, 6 innings, got the win, 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, with a 1 whip and a quality start. And now his next outing's at Cincinnati tonight here. So we'll see what he could do versus the Reds. We know the Reds got some good power hitters, obviously, in Castellanos, Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez. So it's going to be a tougher test for Velasquez, especially in a bandbox in Cincinnati. But fantasy owners, they've gone out there and added him in 8% of fantasy leagues after that good outing a few days ago at Miami. And right here, he's still available 3% of fantasy leagues. So if you want to take a shot with him, this will be the time to add him. The next pitch is Casey Mize of the Detroit Tigers. So Mize, one of the top prospects in all Major League Baseball coming up last season, and he was a recommended ad last week on the waiver wire, and once again here week 9 he's a recommended ad. So this season, 57 and 2/3, 3-3 record, 44 hits, 21 earned runs, 7 homers given up, 20 walks, 47 strikeouts, a nice 3.28 ERA, a 1-1 whip, and a 6 quality starts here for Mize. So Mize, things are starting to get going for him. In the last couple weeks, 19 innings, 1-0 record, 11 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 4 walks, 20 Ks, 1.42 ERA, and 0.79 whip, and 2 quality starts. So Casey Mize, he's starting to find his niche here in this Tiger pitching rotation. And I know the Tigers, they're one of the worst teams in all of Major League Baseball, but Mize, he's going out there each and every 5th day, and he's producing for this team and for fantasy owners. And right now, he's been added in 12% of fantasy leagues this week, but he's still available in 50%, and he should be added in more, even though he's on a poor Detroit Tiger team. So the last few outings for Mize, May 17th at Seattle, 7 2/3, got the win, 3 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, 3 walks, 7 Ks, a 1.17 ERA, and a 0.78 whip, and a quality start. May 23rd at Kansas City, 6 1/3, no runs, 3 hits, 1 earned run, a walk, 6 Ks, a 1.42 ERA, 0.63 whip, and a quality start. And then versus the Yankees, May 28th, 5 innings, no decision, 5 hits, 1 run in this one, a homer, 7 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, and 1 whip. And his next outing is June 3rd at the Chicago White Sox, and he's pitching well, and he's definitely worth an ad this week before it's too late to get him when he has another good outing probably at the White Sox June 3rd. The next pitcher is Adder Alzolay of the Chicago Cubs, another pitcher I've mentioned over the last few weeks as a recommended ad and a former top prospect in this Cubs system. So far this season, 49 and 2/3, 3-4 record, 36 hits, 21 earned runs, 9 homers given up, 10 walks, 51 Ks, 3.81 ERA, and 0.93 WHIP, and 3 quality starts. But the last couple weeks here, 17 and 2/3, 2-1 record, 15 hits, 5 earned, 3 homers, 3 walks, 15 Ks, 2.55 ERA, and a 1.02 WHIP with a quality start. So Alize, he's gone out there. He pitched very well here for this Cub team, and he should be added in more leagues. His percentage has gone up in 5% this week, but he's still out there in 67% of fantasy leagues is Alize. In the last few outings for him versus pretty decent hitting teams, May 17th versus Washington, 5 innings, got the win, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1 WHIP. May 22nd at St. Louis, 7 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer given up, 6 Ks, 2.57 ERA, and 0.71 WHIP in a quality start. And May 28th versus Cincinnati, 5 2/3, got the win, 5 hits, 3 walks, 6 Ks, no runs, 1.41 WHIP in that one. So right here, he's gone out there, he's competed, he's pitched well. And this Cub team, they've been hitting the baseball pretty well this season. And his next outing's June 2nd versus San Diego. So he's worth an ad. And the final pitcher worth an ad this week is Jake Diekmann of the Oakland Athletics. So Diekmann here taking over the closer's role with Triviano not really going in there and doing anything the last few weeks in the closer's role. So Diekmann on the season, he's 47% owned. His percentage has gone up 3% this week, and his stats this year, 21 1/3, 2-1 record, 6 saves, 17 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 9 walks, 30 Ks, a 2.95 ERA, and a 1.22 WHIP here for Diekmann. And the last few outings for him, May 21st at the Angels, 1 1/3 in that one, no save in that ball game, but he got a walk, a K, no ERA, and 0.75 WHIP. May 22nd at the Angels, 1 inning, 1-2-3 inning, 2 Ks in that one. And then his latest, May 26th, latest outing, 1 1/3, 4-out save in that one. 1 hit, 1 walk, a strikeout, 1.50 WHIP. So right here, Diekmann, he's going out there. And if you need some cheap saves, this guy's not that bad of an ad, and he's on a pretty decent Oakland Athletic team that's going to win a lot of close ball games, I believe, when it's all said and done this season. So that's a few pitches I would look to add on the waiver wire here in Week 9 of the fantasy baseball season.